There are certain human responses that feel as though they should flow effortlessly. They are the reactions we expect when faced with situations involving those we hold dear. Compassion, patience, a gentle understanding. These often seem like second nature within the bonds of family, friendship, or partnership. Yet sometimes we encounter a dissonance. We observe someone in a situation where these natural responses should surface, but they are conspicuously absent. Instead, we might see impatience, awkwardness, or even a flicker of disdain. This can be unsettling. It prompts us to pause and question. Why is the expected flow of empathy or tolerance dammed? Why does something that feels inherent to caring relationships seem like a foreign concept to this person in this moment? This observation is not about demanding perfection from anyone. We all have our moments of stress or fatigue. But it is about noticing a pattern, a consistent lack of ease with emotions or actions that should be readily available when dealing with loved ones or situations demanding basic human kindness. It's a subtle signal, perhaps, but one worth heeding. It suggests that the underlying foundation of care or connection might be weaker than it appears on the surface. It hints that the person's internal landscape regarding these relationships may be different from what we assume. Consider what we mean by second nature in this context. It's the instinct to comfort a crying child even when tired. It's the automatic concern for a friend facing hardship. It's the patience extended to an aging parent repeating a story. These aren't always easy actions, but the impulse towards them feels deeply ingrained when genuine affection and connection are present. The tolerance for inconvenience, the willingness to listen, the desire to help. These responses arise from a place of inherent value placed on the other person and the relationship. When these impulses are consistently overridden by irritation, indifference, or a complete lack of understanding, it raises a question. Is the value placed on the relationship truly as high as one might expect? Is the capacity for empathy towards these specific individuals somehow stunted or absent? Or this isn't about judging a single bad mood. It's about observing a recurring difficulty with responses that most people find relatively straightforward when dealing with their nearest and dearest. It's the low tolerance for things that should evoke a higher tolerance. When someone struggles with what should be second nature compassion or patience towards their own family or close friends, it suggests a disconnect. This disconnect can stem from various sources, not all of them malicious. It could be a deep-seated emotional immaturity. It might be a learned behavior from their own upbringing. It could be a sign of significant personal stress or unresolved trauma that overwhelms their capacity for empathy. However, it can also indicate a more fundamental issue. It might mean the person doesn't genuinely care about the other individual's feelings or needs as much as they present. It could signify a lack of respect or even an underlying resentment. For those who tend towards people pleasing, this observation is particularly crucial. We might make excuses for the person's behavior, rationalizing their impatience or coldness. We might blame ourselves for somehow provoking their reaction. But ignoring this signal can be detrimental. It can lead us into relationships where our own needs for empathy, patience, and understanding will likely go unmet. It can trap us in dynamics where we are constantly walking on eggshells, trying not to trigger the other person's low tolerance. What are the potential outcomes of being closely involved with someone who exhibits this low tolerance for expected kindness? One significant outcome is emotional depletion for you. You may find yourself constantly giving, understanding, and being patient while receiving little in return. Another outcome is a lack of genuine emotional safety. If basic empathy is a struggle for them, how will they react during times of real crisis or vulnerability? Will they be a source of support, or will their low tolerance manifest as abandonment or harsh judgment? You might experience a persistent feeling of being misunderstood or invalidated. Your feelings and needs, which require a degree of patience and compassion from others, may be met with irritation or dismissal. This erodes self-worth over time. Furthermore, such individuals may struggle with true commitment and dedication. If the second nature feelings of care are absent, the effort required for long-term relationship maintenance might feel like too much of a burden. This can lead to instability and unreliability. In essence, you risk building significant parts of your life or emotional well-being on a foundation that lacks the expected strength and resilience of mutual care and understanding. This is a precarious position for anyone, especially for those who naturally give generously. Consider a few examples. A partner who consistently shows extreme impatience when their spouse is feeling ill or moving slowly. Instead of offering comfort or practical help, their immediate reaction is frustration or annoyance at the inconvenience. Think of a friend who becomes visibly irritated or dismissive when you share a personal struggle that requires emotional support. Their tolerance for your vulnerability is low. They quickly try to change the subject or offer simplistic, unfeeling advice. Imagine a family member who reacts with sharp words or coldness when another family member makes a minor mistake or expresses a different opinion. The expected familial patience and acceptance are absent, replaced by immediate judgment or anger. These aren't isolated incidents of someone having a bad day. They are patterns where the default, second nature response of kindness, patience, or understanding is bypassed in favor of irritation, judgment, or withdrawal, particularly in situations involving those they should ostensibly care about. It's the ease with which they resort to impatience, the awkwardness they display when a situation calls for simple warmth, or the quickness with which tolerance runs out for minor human imperfections in others close to them. So, what signs should you look for? Pay attention to their reactions in low-stakes situations involving loved ones. How do they respond when a partner is running late, a child is being difficult, or a friend needs to talk through a problem? Observe their body language and tone of voice when faced with someone else's vulnerability or need. Do they soften or do they stiffen? Does their voice become gentle or does it carry an edge of impatience? Notice their capacity for listening without immediately jumping to judgment or solutions, especially when the other person just needs to be heard. A low tolerance for this can manifest as interrupting, sighing, or looking away. Consider how they handle minor inconveniences caused by loved ones. Is there an immediate, disproportionate reaction of frustration? Or is there a more measured, understanding response? Look for awkwardness or withdrawal in situations that call for simple emotional presence or comfort. Do they seem uncomfortable with displays of emotion, either yours or others? Do they physically or emotionally distance themselves? This observation is not about creating suspicion towards everyone. It is about cultivating discernment. It is about recognizing that how someone treats those closest to them, especially in moments requiring basic empathy and patience, is a significant indicator of their character and their capacity for healthy relationships. For those who tend to be overly accommodating or who struggle with setting boundaries, recognizing these signs is vital for self-preservation. It helps you assess whether a relationship has the potential for mutual care or if it is likely to be a draining, one-sided dynamic. Trust your intuition if something feels off about someone's reactions in these fundamental areas. The absence of what should be second nature kindness is a signal that should not be easily dismissed. It is a call for caution, for deeper observation, and for prioritizing your own emotional well-being. Choose relationships where compassion flows relatively freely, where patience is extended, and where understanding is the default, not a rare exception. Your peace of mind and personal growth depend on it.